really the credit goes to the dive team and the conservation police. They went out on the ice.
Right now on night side, the body of 23-year-old Christian Zamora found. Here are the latest details from police.
Plus, community reaction here from those who helped search for Christian and his family's reaction to that devastating news.
And transparency issue at the Capitol. Find out what's dividing lawmakers in D.C. about Hillary Clinton's latest email scandal. WICD News Channel 15's Night Side starts right now. After missing for more than 2 months, the body of Christian Zamora is finally recovered. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Nate Rogers.
And I'm Doug Quick. Zamora's body was found around 2 o'clock this afternoon at Crystal Lake Park in Urbana. As you may recall, the 23-year-old went missing New Year's Eve. Previous search efforts have been unsuccessful. Here's the latest from police.
The search for Christian Zamora continued Friday around 9 a.m. It was a collaboration of multiple agencies, including Urbana Police and Fire, Illinois Conservation Crews, and Champaign County's dive team.
We came out here this morning to work with the conservation police who could drill through the ice along with the dive team and utilize sonar to assist in the search in the water.
The Champaign County coroner says Zamora's body was found submerged under ice at Crystal Lake Park. He was pronounced dead around 2 p.m. Police say conservation police and the county's dive team made the recovery.
They went out on the ice. They would cut holes into the ice, which is approximately 10 inches thick, and then the conservation police would move through, drop sonar, and determine if there was anything that needed further investigation.
Police could not tell us how long Zamora's body was in the water or any additional circumstances leading up to his disappearance, but they did say Friday's weather conditions helped in the recovery.
With the ice melting, then it increases the possibility that somebody could fall through the ice, so working today actually enhanced the safety of the workers that were there.
Now again, Zamora's exact cause of death is not yet known. An autopsy will be done tomorrow. Police and the coroner's office will continue to investigate this case. And a big reaction from the community tonight, especially those that volunteered in hopes of finding Zamora alive.
That's right. WICD News Channel 15's Angelica Sanchez spoke with close members of that search party as well as the family, and she joins us here now with more. Angelica.
Doug and Nate, actually our crews this afternoon ran into members of his search team who were just there as they heard the news of the dive teams going in. Now, Christian's disappearance attracted much attention in the community and on social media. Many in the community gave up personal time to help the family in their search. Those we spoke to today still had flyers, staple guns, and supplies to continue spreading awareness on his disappearance. Once they learned that search was over, however, they were devastated. Hear what they had to say. Take a listen.
I just want to tell him I'm deeply sorry that, it was him. My prayers are with him always. And I don't really have any words. It's just devastating. But I wish I could give them hugs and tell them how sorry I am.
Now, many members of the Champaign-Urbana community showed their support for the family by donating items. For instance, the items used in his search were donated by a local store who became aware of his disappearance and wanted to help. And a local restaurant donated coffee and hot chocolate for the family's Shining Hope event last Saturday at the same park, showing them they were not alone in their grief. WICD has remained in constant communication with the family since Zamora's disappearance. They are telling us tonight funeral arrangements are being made. Right now, in fact, they were already looking at a Chicago funeral home near their residence. They gave us this message to share it with our viewers and anyone that helps spread the word on Christian's disappearance in any way. Take a listen.
Really want to say thank you for the support, the prayers, and for keeping the awareness up when we really needed it. Although this was not the outcome that we were expecting, at least now we have closure.
The family also asks that our viewers help take down Christian's posters, as there are many spread around the community. An autopsy on Christian's body is scheduled for tomorrow. In the studio, I'm Angelica Sanchez, WICD News Channel 15.
Well, what a day we had earlier this morning, breaking those low temperature records, and we'll take a closer look at those coming up. But the big weather story tonight, clear skies. It is allowing temperatures to drop in some areas down into the teens. We're right around that 20-degree mark currently, but we will see some weekend warming, and actually the warming will begin during the overnight. Live Doppler certainly not showing any precipitation across the area. At Willard Airport, 21 degrees. South winds at around 13, making it feel more like 9 degrees. Meanwhile, in Danville, 22 there, with a feels like temperature at 9. As we continue to get into the day tomorrow, our temperatures will climb up above 40 degrees. In fact, we've got a couple of days of temperatures over 40, and it only gets better from there. And I'll have the look at next week's Storm Team 15 forecast coming up. Nate, back to you.
All right, thanks, Doug. New on Nightside, we've heard of renovations and updates to Champaign's Green Street, but Urbana City Council will also be looking into renovating portions of their side of Green Street. This is all a part of the MCOR project. The project is a collaboration of the two cities and the University of Illinois. Next Monday, Urbana City Council will be asked to approve fees to consultants that have evaluated the area and drafted proposals for renovations. Some options include adding bike lanes and additional transit lanes to the street. We spoke with one engineer on what's next for the project.
More importantly, what we're looking at is space reallocation. So right now we have what you would call a car-centric approach where we have vehicle lanes everywhere. We're looking at basically adjusting those lanes.
Now, also in discussion are improving the roads. The street sidewalks are also in discussion and how those can be improved for pedestrians. If you want more information on the project, you can go to www.mcorproject.com. Parkland College's paramedic program has earned a nationally recognized accreditation. Parkland is among 17 Illinois community colleges with EMS programs fully accredited through the Committee on Accreditation of Educational Programs. This is for emergency medical service professionals. The new accreditation means Parkland's program meets the standards developed by professionals in the discipline. Since 2013, all EMS educational programs have been encouraged to become compliant with accreditation standards. Failure to comply limits students taking only state licensure exams and restricts them to licensure within their current state.
Congressman Rodney Davis today calling President Obama's executive order on immigration illegal. Obama's order would protect some 5 million undocumented immigrants from deportation, but a court in Texas has put a hold on that order, saying it's unconstitutional. The president has asked the court to quickly issue a ruling. Davis agrees with the court, saying while he supports comprehensive immigration reform, executive action from the president isn't the way to go.
They ruled in favor of an opinion like me that it was unconstitutional. Now we just have to let the court play out in the appellate court. I believe it is in New Orleans. Let's see what the court case says. But any time we see executive actions like this, it stops the legislative process dead in its tracks.
The temporary court order to halt the president's executive action was put in place last month. The administration has asked the judge to rule by Monday on lifting the ban or at least limiting it to Texas.
Well, Governor Bruce Rauner is in hot water over criticism he made to another governor in the U.S. Rauner ripped New Jersey Governor Chris Christie in recent speeches, saying the state is, quote, lost and going down the drain. Today, he told reporters his words were not meant to be an attack against the governor, who was an active supporter for Rauner's during his campaign. Rauner says that Christie is his friend and that he is, quote, doing everything he can to turn the state around. But New Jersey suffers from the same problem as Illinois does. Coming up after the break, making progress in Iraq. Here are the latest on the war front. More and more cities being liberated from ISIS.
Plus, transparency in government. Hear the latest on the recent Hillary Clinton email problems, how her private emails are splitting Capitol Hill apart. You're watching WICD News Channel 15.
Welcome back. Iraqi forces were making some progress in their effort to push ISIS militants out of the city of Tikrit. And we've just heard that a local official says a town nearby has been completely liberated. Iraq's defense minister visited military units in Al-Karma in the northeast of Fallujah in preparation to launch a new military operation to liberate Fallujah from ISIS. Fallujah is approximately 60 kilometers or 37 miles west of Baghdad and taken over by ISIS end of 2013. 2 more Ferguson police officers are out of a job over racist emails discovered by the Department of Justice. City officials say Captain Rick Hinkey and Sergeant William Mudd resigned Thursday. This is a photo of Hinkey. The 2 were connected to the Justice Department's investigation of the police department. Among some major violations, the Department of Justice unearthed racist messages on official city email earlier this week. The city's top court clerk, Mary Ann Twitty, was fired in connection to the emails. No word yet on if any other city officials or police officers will be affected by the investigation. Ferguson Mayor James Knoll says the city will do its due diligence and hold people accountable.
The notion that you would use a law enforcement agency or law enforcement generally to generate revenue, and then the callous way in which that was done and the impact that it had on the lives of the ordinary citizens of that municipality was just appalling. And that is not something that we're going to tolerate.
Now to the latest on Hillary Clinton's private email account being used for government business. It happened while she was U.S. Secretary of State. She used her own private server and email for communications and has since turned over 55,000 of her emails to the government. But that's not enough for some lawmakers on Capitol Hill. As national correspondent Jeff Barn found, this is yet another issue that divides Republicans and Democrats.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton used her own personal email and server while in charge, but ordered her staff not to do the same. According to the 2011 State Department memo obtained by Fox News, Mrs. Clinton told subordinates not to use personal email accounts, citing security reasons.
I guess the word could be hypocrisy.
It's still not clear if Clinton violated any laws or security policy.
We have no indication that Secretary Clinton used her personal email account for anything but unclassified purposes.
Fred Guy, the director of the Hofberger Center for Professional Ethics, is deeply troubled by an all too often repeated pattern of politicians playing by their own rules.
Why did she, in effect, want a private email account? What was the motivation there?
And some Congress members continue to question the administration's repeated promise of an open and transparent government.
But I can tell you, we have put in place the toughest ethics laws and toughest transparency rules of any administration in history.
Look, there are a lot of shenanigans been going on in this administration with regards to, despite the president saying this is going to be the most transparent administration in history.
Mrs. Clinton has handed over 55,000 emails to the State Department, but she is the only one who knows for sure how many were actually handled by her personal server.
Certainly when she was secretary that there was not a prohibition on using personal email.
That has since changed. We asked Guy, the ethical expert, if it's fair at this point for anyone to question Hillary Clinton's ethics.
I think it's more a matter of what has she done? What can we point to without being prejudicial?
We will know more about that in the weeks and months to come as the State Department releases Mrs. Clinton's emails and more people call for investigations. I'm Jeff Barn reporting.
Now, if Mrs. Clinton did turn over all of her emails related to her office, she'd be within the boundaries of the law. But as for now, there's no way to independently verify that.
Well, today we did see some sunshine and some climbing temperatures after a new record low was set earlier today. Now temperatures are moving in the opposite direction with quite a warm up into next week. I'll let you know what to expect with the Storm Team forecast. It's coming up next. You're watching WICD News Channel 15.
You're watching WICD News Channel 15. This is Nightside with Elitza Bezios, Doug Quick, and Josh Getzoff. You're watching WICD News Channel 15.
You know, Nate, you were saying you were outside earlier today, obviously, with reports, and temperatures were in the mid-20s for a high today. That's still about 20 degrees less than average, and you were complaining just about how cold it is. Good news is by tomorrow we're going to see temperatures pretty close to what's typical for this time of year, so a warm-up to look forward to. Hey, let's go down to Tilton. Check out the Tilton traffic cam this evening. This is courtesy of the Village of Tilton and VermilionWeather.com. And look at the snow cover on the boulevards out here. We're going to get rid of some of that snow here this weekend. I promise. We're going to see daytime highs up into the 40s. But tonight, Well, it's still a little chilly out there, but we've got something to look forward to. By tomorrow, we expect to see sunny and mild conditions. We'll see temperatures at 40 degrees plus. And then on Sunday, maybe a little more cloudiness, especially by the afternoon, but still looking at temperatures over 40 degrees and warming up even more so next week. In fact, we're looking at highs right around 60 degrees, and the best opportunity anytime from Tuesday to Thursday of next week. So that is definitely something to look forward to. And here's the situation here as far as the futurecast as we get into the weekend. We'll see at least disturbances here roll across the Great Lakes. They're fairly weak as they get down to our area. Still, though, looking at some mild conditions to continue through the rest of the weekend and even into next week. How about that? And we did break that record this morning. It was set back in 1899, 4 degrees. We beat it by 13 degrees. That's quite a difference. Down to -9 earlier this morning. Average lows this time of year around 26 degrees. And the winds still continue out of the south at around 13 miles an hour in Champaign. Look at the highs today, though. Mid-20s, as I said, in Champaign. Mid-30s almost in Springfield. Mid-40s in Quincy. And Kansas City had a high today of 60 degrees. Well, we're going to be pretty close to that, but give it a few days anyway. Here's a look at the current temperatures in the lower 20s. A little earlier, we were looking at temperatures down into the teens, and since then, just over the last couple of hours, we've seen the temperatures rise a couple of degrees, and that'll be the story for most of the overnight. In fact, by early tomorrow morning, we'll be looking at a temperature of around 25 degrees. Partly cloudy skies will remain, though, during the overnight. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, up to around 44 degrees, fairly mild. Winds still continuing from the southwest. And here's a look at the second half of the weekend. 44 degrees on Sunday. We'll see 52 on Monday. Look what happens, though, as we continue through the week. Yes, we have a 60-degree temperature. We're expecting to see that on Wednesday. But still, we could see 60 even on Tuesday or Thursday, for that matter. Those will be the warmest day of the week. Things definitely getting better here as we continue through the period. Now, there is a chance of some rain showers by the time we get into Friday. We'll have to wait and see. That's still a few days away. Good news is no snow in the forecast, no below average temperatures, and that is a big change.
Yeah, that's a good thing. No snow.
No snow.
Didn't want that to
Always
happen.
good news. Hey, Parkland College is looking to advance in Region 24 playoffs tonight in Springfield. Highlights coming up later in sports. You're watching WICD News Channel 15.
SJO and St. Teresa on paper seemed like it would be as good as any tilt on the docket tonight, but perhaps we didn't fully take into consideration just how good Christian Williams is at playing basketball. Williams and his Bulldogs take the 2A Moreau Forsyth Championship tonight, 48-35 over SJO. How good was Williams? Well, consider this. His 25 points, more than half of the Dogs' offensive output. They are on to Super Sectionals. Out in Schlarman, 1A sectional championship there, won by Ridgeview. They top Milford 60-48. Ridgeview will now head to Super Sectionals. That, just like St. Teresa, is next week. Well, let's face it, when the Mahomet Seymour Regional Bracket was released, this was the matchup we wanted to see in the championship game. The high-flying Bulldogs and the Centennial Chargers. Only one could head to sectionals next week right here in Champaign. Check out the Mahomet student section tonight. Getting into it on this Friday night. Packed house in Mahomet. Whoa! Watch out. To the action, third quarter. Terrion Howard. Oof. Little step back jumper, it drops, but Mahomet in front by 12. That was kind of the theme tonight. Big reason for that, Christian Romine. No answer for the big man from Centennial. He gets two there on the rebound and the putback. But Howard, giving the Bulldogs everything they can handle tonight. Oh! 6 spin. I could watch that 100 times and it still wouldn't get old. Scores. Mahomet answers back. Jack Reddick at the buzzer. Hits the three. Dogs led by 19 after 3 quarters. They did not let up. Home run pass. Check this out. Pretty cool shot by Chuck Robinson. Connor Diedrich goes up, gets the bucket and the foul. The party's on and Mahomet rush the court, go crazy. Bulldogs take the regional title 75-59. They will be here in Champaign at Centennial for sectionals next week. Parkland College in Region 24 tournament action tonight against Lincoln Land in Springfield. We join this one in the second half. Cody Russell finds Corvon Butler. Butler goes up and scores. Later, Butler gets the rebound here. Putback goes in and the foul. Cobra's rolling along here. After that, Caprias Salinas from distance. Bang! Hits the three-pointer. Austin Howard would follow him up with a layup and kind of get where this one's going. Parkland wins at 75-65. They play at 3 tomorrow in the second round. Well, the playoff games continue for the Illini Saturday afternoon. A 3:30 p.m. date with Purdue at Mackey Arena with a whole lot on the line. As in potentially an NCAA tournament bid. Illinois sitting at 19 wins overall, 9 wins in the Big Ten. That is the most conference wins they ever had under John Gross. But the Boilers will be just as hungry to try and lock up a spot in the madness. And while Illinois won the first meeting, they know a dogfight awaits Saturday.
Right now, it's the biggest game. This is a huge game for us. I think we know that. And I think our mentality is to come out and just be physical, because that's how they are.
It's great to be playing, for those type of things this time of year. It beats the alternative. We're looking forward. It'll be a challenge for sure. We understand when we go in there, it's going to be us, against a lot of black and gold.
All right, thanks, Josh. And here's another look through the eyes of the Sullivan Park Hill Stream Cam. Up next, Duck Quick will have a final check of your forecast. You're watching WICD News Channel 15. We'll be right back.
Hey, we're looking at our big change here for the weekend, daylight savings time. Don't forget, before you hit the sack on Saturday night, advance your clock 1 hour so you will be on time. Here's a look at the next 7 days. Looking good. Look at these temperatures. Above average. Average highs this time of year around 45 degrees. So as we get into next week, finally some good news. Plenty of daytime sunshine as well. Next chance of rain a week from today. That's a look at your forecast, everyone. Have a great weekend. Make it a safe one.